Namaste and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about how to create a new norm that is more peaceful and harmonious for our well-being. So sometimes in our lives we're put into situations where we have more time to be reflective and consider what is my life really all about and what is important to me and where do I go from here. So that's what I wanted to talk about today in connection with ancient yoga wisdom, which is incredibly profound and is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. So the yogis spent a lot of time in contemplation and meditation, and they give us information about how we can apply the same techniques into our daily life to have a greater sense of peace and happiness. So yoga is a complete journey of self-discovery. It covers well-being for the body, mind, and us, the spirit soul within the body. So generally when we think about yoga, we think of asanas or exercises, and they're really beneficial for creating a body that's more comfortable to live in, really. So when you sit and meditate, you're not disturbed by the body. So, the exercises draw more energy and prana into the body, and they help to de-stress us from whatever's going on in our daily life. But it's not meant to just be the end of that, right? It's not meant to just be like, okay, asanas and full stop. So it's meant to be part of a whole journey. And so we want to also use pranayama techniques which help us to, pranayama is like breathing practices, yoga breathing practices that are specifically meant to help us be able to control our mind more. So many people identify with their mind, and whatever thoughts and feelings are going on in the mind, we take them as being us. So I might be feeling stressed, or I might be feeling anxious about something, and then because those feelings are there in the mind, then we identify with them, and it's like, I am stressed, or I am anxious, or I am happy, or I am sad. But the mind and the emotions and the feelings, they're actually not who we are. They're like a subtle covering over the living being. So it's like we're a pure spirit soul, but we're covered by two types of bodies. This external physical body that we can see, plus a subtle body which composes of the mind, the intelligence, and what's called false ego, or a false conception of who we are. And so the process of yoga is a journey of uncovering our true self, to know, well, who is underneath that body and mind? Who am I really? And when we're put into situations where we actually have time to be more reflective and contemplative, this is a perfect opportunity for us to try and change our direction in life and make it so much more peaceful, so much more purposeful. And so we're very fortunate to have the yoga teachings to guide us and how to achieve this in our daily life. So one of the things that's really important is to learn how to see the mind for what it is, and how it tricks us so often and distracts us from where we really want to go in life. And it has this amazing tendency to go more towards the negative than the positive. So the mind will sort of dwell where we don't want it to be. And what we want to try and learn to do is actually, first of all, see it for what it is, and see what it's doing, and see how it's taking us off on a tangent, but then learn how to redirect the mind and how to train the mind and place it where we want it to go. So the mind is full of material desires and conditioning making us identify as, this temporary body. So even though I have this body on for a while, and I think it's me, I was born in New Zealand, so I'm a Kiwi, or I've got this female body, I'm a female. So this misidentifying with the body is called false ego. But also misidentifying with our mind is just as much called false ego. when we identify with our thoughts. So we want to become free from this conditioning that's covering us, and the yoga process is an amazing process, so profound, to actually help us uncover our true nature, so that we're able to live in this world and go about our responsibilities, but with a greater sense of peace, a greater sense of harmony, and understanding of our true nature. So we need a process that's, excuse me, a process that's going to help free us from this conditioning of misidentifying with the body. And the process is called mantra yoga. And mantra yoga is not dependent upon whatever condition the body's in. So, you know, we may be short or tall or fat or skinny or young or old. None of those things matter. With mantra yoga, the idea is to connect ourselves with transcendental sound. So usually people think of yoga as being a connection of body, mind and soul, or sometimes just body and mind, but connection of body, mind and soul is what we already have, right? We're already body, mind and soul united, but it's not necessarily in any harmony. But yoga actually means union of body, mind and soul with the Supreme Soul. We're obviously not the Supreme Soul, or we wouldn't be here going through the different types of experiences that we have. So, you know, we're a spiritual being, but we're not the Supreme Spiritual Being. So for us to be in yoga, excuse me, in union with the Supreme Being is actually, that is the goal of all yoga processes. It's not talked about so much in the West especially, but that is actually what real yoga is, that loving connection of the soul with the Supreme Soul. And it's simultaneously that connection that we have with all living beings. We're all spirit souls, we're all connected, we're all brothers and sisters. And the more we know who we really are, our true nature, the more we will understand others and be able to have much nicer and more meaningful relationships with them, because we won't be just looking, you know, body to body or particular mentalities. You know, we'll be able to see beyond that to the person beneath the covering, right? The real person, you know. And we all like to be, or want to be, and need to be related to in such a way that it's to do with our true self. Nobody wants to be just looked upon as a body, right? We all find that really unappealing. So we want soul to soul relationships that are meaningful and purposeful. So yoga is about uncovering that true nature, and the mantra yoga is the recommended process of this day and age. So in different eras of time, and in the yoga texts they talk about enormous periods of time. In this period of time, it's called the Kali Yuga, and the process of mantra yoga is the recommended process because it's easy for us to do no matter what kind of condition we're in. You know, we can't go sit in the Himalayas or some cave somewhere and be able to have all the peace and harmony around us. You know, most of us live in lives or like in cities and so on, where it's pretty hard to find a peaceful place. You know, you might find a peaceful place somewhere, but it's not like for long or anything. You know, you might go and find a nice beach where there's not many people there, or you may go out for a walk in the bush, but we always have to come back to our kind of current situations, and there's traffic and there's work responsibilities and so on. So we don't have the luxury of living in some peaceful place in a monastery or anything like that. So we need a process of meditation that's actually going to work for us in this current situation, where we do have minds that are so easily distracted and wander off so easily to other things. We're conditioned by not only our own mind, but and our own desires, but that sort of conditioning is ongoing, you know, because the advertising these days is so slick and so clever that we get sucked into thinking, oh, but I'll be happy if I could get this, or if I could go there, or if I could change my situation in some way, you know, I'll find happiness there. So we may feel like we're not materialistic because we don't go for the blatant materialistic things, but we can still quite easily get caught up in still having a desire to look outward for our satisfaction and our happiness. You know, we still have this desire that if if something would change, then I'll be happier, I'll be more peaceful. So the yoga journey is an inward journey, that when our mind comes through with, oh, go do this, or go do that, or get this, we can know it's just my mind. I don't need to listen to it. It's a little bit of a brat sometimes. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about the mind being our best friend or our worst enemy. In neither case it's us, but it can definitely be our friend or our enemy. And it's just how we're going to learn to use it and how we're going to learn to discipline the mind. And that's not easy, because we could have spent a lot of time not even realizing that that's what we were supposed to do, you know, that we spend our life just following our mind so often. So it's like creating a new norm in our habits of learning how to see the mind, learning how to observe it, and how to bring it back, where to bring it back to, you know, which is what we want to do right now, what we're supposed to be focusing on. So, you know, every student's aware of that the mind wanders off and you're supposed to bring it back and focus it on your studies. And when we practice meditation, so many people think, oh, I can't meditate, I've tried, and my mind just wanders everywhere. So you need to learn, okay, that is the nature of the mind, but through this process of mantra yoga, I can bring my mind and I can try and refocus it on to transcendental sound. That is what a mantra is. A mantra is that which draws the mind from the material world, and we can focus it upon transcendental sound. And that transcendental sound will touch our heart. So the yoga process is a process or a journey of self-discovery, of understanding and uncovering our true nature. And our true nature is to be happy, in fact, blissful as the true nature of the soul. That's why we keep seeking it in the material world, because we know it's there. We know intrinsically, we know I'm meant to be happy, you know, and then we experience a frustration that somehow or other life's not as happy as I would like it to be, or, you know, I get some, you know, happy times or some peaceful times, but they don't last, you know. So we know that real happiness or blissfulness exists, and it exists within the core of every living being. So we want to kind of uncover that and be able to experience it. So even though there may be things going on around us, and there will be all sorts of things going on around us that can be quite challenging, and we can still kind of find that center of the hurricane, if you like, and have that peaceful place where we practice our yoga, mantra yoga, where we can go within, and we can do mantra yoga externally as well, but it's a journey within to uncover our true nature. So the goal of yoga is to reunite the soul with the Supreme Soul in a loving relationship, and to have that love expand to all living beings. That is where we will find complete peace and complete harmony in our life. The goal of yoga, the purpose of yoga. So it's an amazing journey, it's a profound journey, it's open to everyone, no matter where we're going, what we've been doing, what our life's been about to this point. Our new norm can be to make a commitment to take some time out every day and nourish our true self, to nourish our spiritual journey, our yoga journey, to make that commitment that no matter what our minds say and want to distract us with, that no matter what, that I can actually make that commitment. And so try and do some meditation early in the morning before the mind gets too out of control through the day, getting so distracted by other things. So it's a wonderful process of yoga, and so I thought we'd take the opportunity now. We can do a little bit of mantra yoga, just a few minutes, so you can get to experience it if you haven't already done some. So it's an opportunity to actually completely rest your heart and rest your mind, and when the mind wanders, you just gently bring it back. But if you're doing mantra yoga with kirtan, meditation, which is what we're going to do now for a few minutes, it's the easiest process of mantra yoga for sure. So we all like to sing, that's our nature. So we're just going to do a few minutes, and I encourage you to join in. So you can just listen, or you can sing along, and you can sing softly, or you can sing loud. Right? There's no rules with mantra yoga. Mantra we're going to do is Om, Hari Om. Om, Hari Om. Om, Hari Om. Om, Hari Hari Om. Om, 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 Hari Om. Couple more. Om, Hari Om. Om, Hari Om. Om, Hari Om. Om, Hari Om. And namaste, and thank you for joining me in our new norm opportunity for a more peaceful and harmonious life. Thank you so much. Take care.